My friendly eye, and welcome back to my channel. My name is CaitlinAnwyn for anyone who's new here, and let's get back into building in Planet Zoo. And we're continuing in the Balayong Zoo today, and we're making a red panda habitat and building a nice little park for our pandas, or a playground. What do you call it? Like, I would call somewhere where there's like a climbing frame, swings, seesaw, you know, that sort of thing, a park. But I guess you could call it a playground too. What do you call this? And it's a pity I couldn't find like a whole circular window. But these half circle, semicircle windows worked quite nicely in this little circular space. And I then used the same barriers that I used for around the habitat on the inside of these little squares, and they are one-way glass, so it's dark on the inside too. And yeah, it just fills in that little glass space there because I couldn't find anything that was a perfect circle for the glass. And then I had like this white outline that looked kind of like a shape of a rainbow. So I wanted to have a look at some things from the art shapes to kind of create a rainbow in the gap of the window and to kind of hide those white outlines. And this is kind of tricky because Planet Zoo don't like really small things, and we're gonna discover that it gets even trickier than making this one rainbow with some other things that are going to be rainbow themed, because once I had decided I was going to put a rainbow on the side of this little climbing frame building, or it's going to become a climbing frame, I wanted everything to be rainbow. It's almost Pride Month when this video comes out, and as much as it kind of irritates me that big corporate companies come out with like everything rainbow in June. But yeah, why not? Like, start off the month of June or start off Pride Month with a little rainbow build. And rainbows are just fun, aren't they? And kind of really zoned in to slowly moving objects and curving objects around into a semicircle to make like a nice little rainbow. It's kind of tricky because they kind of merge in a little bit together and it gets a little ugly with the glitchiness of the colours flicking from one to the other when it's merged in together. It's not as bad as the flickering when you merge two objects together in The Sims though. And I was kind of copying the rainbow sign that's actually in the game, and I was hoping to use that sign around the habitat too, but I only really managed to use that on the education boards, and because there wasn't like really all that much space to do a full set of rainbow colours for above the window, I kind of did like an orangey yellow and a bluey green and like a purpley blue. The only colour that's kind of not merged in with another colour is red, which is kind of useful because the pandas are red pandas, so why not have like that little bit pop of red in there. So now my rainbow's done, time to actually make a playground instead of just a box with a rainbow on it. I really like this fence though because I could recolor it, and that's like my favorite thing. If an object isn't recolorable, I do get a little slightly annoyed and not use it. I like the fact that pretty much everything has a color wheel, but I still wanted to add in some of the East Asia style items too, like these recolorable planks of wood are like a godsend for these sorts of things. Yeah, they're kind of my favorite thing to use out of the whole East Asia style. And I started with pink and white to match in with the buildings around the zoo, but as much as I wanted to blend everything in with the zoo, I went with the rainbow more than just trying to make this fit into the pink cherry blossom theme. And of course the red pandas are going to need a way of getting up into this little building as well as inside it as like a little shelter. So I wanted to make like a teeny tiny little staircase for them. I hadn't quite got them into the habitat at this point, so I wasn't sure how small they were going to be. So I wanted to make sure that this was actually climbable. I say that and I hadn't got them in yet, but I was just making sure that everything was kind of small. I thought the animals were bigger than they were, so I was making sure that this was small enough that their little fluffy legs could get up the stairs. And I was absolutely gutted that I couldn't use these ropes for the little bridge that I wanted to make. I wanted to make like a little swing bridge. These super fun when I was a child. You could like stand on them and like put your feet on two separate ones and sort of jiggle. They're super fun to play on playgrounds, so I wanted to add them in, but I couldn't find any like rope or straight piece of something that was thin enough to look like it would hold these small little planks of wood. So I used the letter I. It sounds odd. It is odd. It was very difficult to build with. It took me a very long time. Embarrassingly, I think this little bridge took me over an hour to build on its own. Just this teeny tiny little part, because I had to rejig it like 8 million times, and I'm gonna save you the pain of it. I've already sat through it for over an hour. I'm not going to put you through that. I'm just going to show you how I started it off by putting the little eyes, stack them one on top of the other, and it kind of makes a nice little wiggly pattern. I like it. It looks like some kind of like rope, maybe. If it hadn't taken me so long to figure out in the beginning, I probably would have tried another technique maybe, but it had taken me so long to get it how it looked. How it looks in the end that I was running out of time to record face cams and stuff, so I just gave up in the end. And it looks like a little curvy bridge, and it looks like it could be a bit of fun. The red pandas can climb across it. It does count as a climbable item, but it's not my favourite part of the park. I then had the idea to tie in more rainbow designs into this zoo instead of having everything that cute pastel pink colour. So I'm going to have little pastel rainbow stairs. Pastel red doesn't look the greatest, does it? It's not my favourite. Pastel red's basically just a dark pink. But I wanted a nice little rainbow colour going up the stairs. It does show how many little stairs there are, and I probably could have made these a little steeper. And of course, at the end of the video, I will show you how the red pandas get around their little rainbow playground. I think the bridge looks a lot better as a pastel rainbow colour too. Maybe the pink just wasn't doing it for me for a change. Usually I'm all for the pink. But yeah, I think I think it looks a lot nicer in the rainbow colours. And of course we needed another little building for the climbing frame playground area. I kept forgetting that I had used the habitat barriers as glass, so this is a little bit more irritating. If you want to move things around and you've already placed the barriers down, you have to move the barriers every time you move the objects. I probably could have just used a regular glass piece, but the barriers are like one way, and I know the red pandas can get a little shy, so it's nice to have extra protection for them. And what's a climbing frame without a slide to slide down? And I've already made like a tube slide, or a tube, yeah, like a tube slide, a fully enclosed one for my water park build for the aquatic underwater zoo. Put a link up in the iCards for that if you're interested in seeing how I've made like curly enclosed slides. But I thought this is just a playground. This can have like a simple, straight, flat slide. Nothing's really all that exciting in playgrounds, is it? And because I'd already used like a pink and I wanted to include more rainbow colours in this build, I made the slide yellow. The slide's pretty much the only piece that the red pandas can't climb up as well. And while I'm building that, I will include a fun fact about the red pandas, like I've been doing for all of the animals that are not included in the Southeast Asia pack. So this one actually made me laugh. I'm laughing now just thinking about it. I've got to include this one even though it's not like super educational. It made me laugh, so I'm hoping it'll make you laugh too. A red panda called Babu escaped from Birmingham Nature Centre in the UK, which kind of tickled me even more. Just thinking about a panda running around Birmingham. Oh no! Keep it together. Keep reading. Into the city centre, he became a local celebrity and was named Brummie of the Year, the only non-human to ever win that. So I can just imagine a panda running around Birmingham city centre, like climbing up on that like bull statue. I've only ever been there once for a book signing, for a signing of those books up there. It really tickled me imagining a little red panda running around Birmingham city centre. It's very, very amusing. Totally off track there. I like adding these little fun facts in, especially when they tickle me that much anyway. I recolored this other building into a purple colour, pink and purple, my favourite colours. So that's why the buildings have got my favourite colours really. That's like the biggest feature of this habitat, so why not? There is a shelter space for the red pandas underneath in the little buildings, but I also wanted to put little roofs on top of the climbing frames as well. I always think of like British weather really and British parks, which tend to have a lot of coverage on them. It rains so much. We need to have like roofs over things to protect the playground equipment. It's not always going to be completely dry. Like slides are never dry, but oh my goodness, in the summer you're just gonna burn the back of your legs on them. Then our playgrounds are not meant for like good weather. They're not as bad as they used to be, like when they were made out of a shiny metal, but they're still not the greatest, and they will either burn you or give you static shocks. When the plastic ones are terrible, and that's what I sort of see with that yellow slide. And I wasn't sure whether to put a roof on the purple one as well as the pink one, because I wanted them to look slightly different. I didn't want them to be exactly the same. So I just used a higher pitched roof for the purple one. I'm hoping I don't block off too much viewing area from the back of this habitat, but I'm not really concerned with the pathway on that back area, because that pathway is mainly for the dolls, and the one that's curving around this area is more for the red pandas. I wanted a slight little nod towards the East Asian style in this park, but not make it super Asian styled. So I used these little gold roof toppers for the center of the roof, just to give it a little nod to the rest of the park. But I wanted this to be used for anyone really, in any zoo, for like a climbing area for any of the smaller climbable animals as well. I imagine a lot of the different animals could actually use this, not just the red pandas. And I didn't think I was quite finished with a playground with just using, just including one sort of climbing area. I didn't think that was really all that much fun. I think if I went to a park as a child with just one climbing thing, the wiggly bridge and a slide, I'd be really fucking disappointed. So I wanted to add in some monkey bars, and I will be adding in a swing as well, just to fill in the area a little bit and make it a real playground instead of just a climbing area. To space out the monkey bars exactly the same all the way along, I placed 2 down and then duplicated those 2 across and lined up the first or second one with the previous one that I placed, so they would all be exactly the same spacings between them. I thought that was a nice little trick that could probably help someone else in a different build. It doesn't have to be just for a monkey bar build. I also recolored everything to match in with the rainbow colors. If you want to get an exact color of something for a build and you've lost that color on your recent color list on Planet Zoo, just copy and paste the color number from the one item to the other, and if you can't do that with right click, it's Control C and then Control V to paste. I don't know, I didn't know that at first when I first started doing all of this, so I think someone might need that tip. I don't know. I've just got more and more lazy the more I build, so I've found a few different shortcuts. And onto the swing set. For the swing set, the one I had in mind was the one from The Sims 4, actually, from Sims 4 Seasons. I was trying to replicate that kind of shape. And I used rope for the swing, the bars of the swings. But yeah, I think the swing looks really nice. I love all the rainbow colours that I've included in this habitat. This is where I decided that I hadn't made these straight because I couldn't get the support beams at the right angle. So I don't think I've built the swings completely straight. It's fine. It still looks like a park. It still looks like a swing set. It's just not completely perfect. I'm telling myself it's fine so I don't go back and change it after I've already done this video. And here we go. I'm just gonna show you how I do one of the education boards because it gets rather repetitive. I didn't use the little pretty scroll for the red pandas. Instead I used the rainbow sign to match in with the rainbow playground. I thought that was really pretty and tie in the habitat with the education boards. And I hope you've enjoyed that one. Let me know what you think in the comments. Just show you how the little red pandas get around the little playground. I really love how this turned out. The bridge wasn't my favourite, but I love the overall look of it with all the different pastel rainbow colours, and of course like the rainbows around the windows as well. I really love it. I think it's so cute. Rainbows are just happiness, aren't they? It's like the rain's gone away and the sun's come out. It's just pure happiness, so yeah, it just brings me joy. Yeah, if you enjoyed this video, smash that like button, and if you haven't already and you would like to, it would mean a lot to me if you could subscribe and hit the bell to be notified whenever I upload a new video. I upload on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day and I will see you next time. Goodbye!